Hi everybody and welcome to the Onepagerules Warcry Tournament Final. And before we continue, a spoiler warning. If you want to watch the first round matches or semi-final matches and not know who will compete in the final, it's time to stop now, because very shortly we will reveal the finalists. And here they are, the Blessed Sisters versus the High Elf Fleets. These two teams have fought their way through the tournament, and here they are. And as always, you can check out the special rules for the Onepagerules Warcry hybrid game in the description or in one of the previous matches. But now let's focus on the two final competitors, the Blessed Sisters. They started this tournament as the Battle Sisters, but they are now called the Blessed Sisters, but they have exactly the same lineup. A High Sister armed with heavy rifle and energy sword, a Battle Sister with heavy machine gun, and then three Battle Sisters, all of them armed with heavy rifle. Finally, a Vanguard Sister. She has Scout and Strider, and she's armed with a flamethrower. All the Battle Sisters have the Devout ability. That gives them +1 when they are within 12 inches, and that is, of course, within 6 inches in this game, because we play by the kitchen table rules. The High Elf fleet is led by an Elven noble armed with shard pistol and killing sword with the deadly ability. Then we have one defender with a gun platform, armed with shotgun and the gun platform with shard cannon. And then finally 4 regular defenders, all of them armed with shotgun. All of the elves are fast, so they can move longer and charge from longer distances. The teams must set up divided into 3 different battle groups: daggers, shields, and hammers. And the High Elf fleet have chosen this way, with the Elven Noble as a shield and the gun platform in the hammer group. The Blessed Sisters have chosen the High Sister and the Sister armed with machine gun as the shields, and the Vanguard Sister with the flamethrower and the regular Sister as hammers. And first thing to do before the match, we will roll off to see who will be the attackers and who will be the defenders. And the Blessed Sisters win the roll-off. They will choose to be the attackers. And with that out of the way, let's proceed to the battle plan. Here we will draw cards for the battlefield, the deployment, and the victory conditions. We will begin with these cards to see how the battlefield will look in this game. And here we have the battlefield. And I actually think we have drawn this particular card in a previous match, but well, that's the way it is. Let's continue to the deployment. And we have Bloodbath. And in this case, the hammer groups from both teams will deploy at the beginning of round 2. Finally, we will draw the victory conditions, but we will not reveal the card just yet. So according to the battlefield setup card, the battlefield will look like this. It's a pretty open battlefield, and it will give both sides more or less the same cover. And here we have the deployment Bloodbath, and the roll-off for deployment is won by the High Elf fleets. They will choose to be the blue team. And of course, the Blessed Sisters will be the red team. And according to the deployment, this is how it looks. The High Elf Noble and 1 defender here at the bottom of the battlefield, and in the upper left corner, the hammers will wait for round 2. And exactly opposite of that, the Blessed Sisters have deployed, and that means here in the lower right corner, the Blessed Sisters hammer group will also deploy at the beginning of round 2. And then let's reveal what this is all about. The victory conditions, And the mission is blood marked. The gods mark those whose doom draws nigh. And that means that both teams must choose one fighter to be blood marked, and the opposite team will win if they can eliminate the blood marked fighter. And of course, both teams will choose their hero. So the High Elf Noble and the High Sister will be chosen as blood marked in this match. So whoever takes out the opponent's hero will win this game. And the match will last 4 rounds. And if there's not a clear winner at the end of round 4, well, we'll continue with a 5th round. But let's roll off now. And the High Elf fleets will win the roll off. They will activate first. Round number 1. So let's get started here. The defender moves his maximum range, trying to get to a better position. And the High Elf fleet will have to use their speed as an advantage against the Blessed Sisters. The High Sister is moving to the right side of the battlefield. She will not be able to charge the defender. And both teams also have to consider that they must protect their blood-marked leader. So this defender moves in cover behind the wall. The High Elf fleet have short-ranged weapons. The Blessed Sisters, on the other hand, have longer-ranged weapons, but they cannot move that far. And also here a defender moves the maximum range, trying to get into position. The first round is a lot about strategic movement and position. Now, one of the most dangerous Blessed Sisters here with the machine gun. She has a very long range and will be able to take down the elves from a distance. And here we have a Blessed Sister moving very close. She will be able to take a shot in the next round against the Elder Noble. So, of course, she has to move in cover behind the ruins here. Again, she's armed with a killing sword, but a very short-ranged pistol. And that was all the movement here in round number 1, because of the 2 hammer battle groups have not entered the battlefield yet. But they will enter in round 2. So first, the High Elf fleet will enter here in the upper left corner of the battlefield. Very good position. And on the lower right corner, the Hammer Blessed Sister battle group will enter. So let's go to round number 2. And as soon as possible, the High Elf fleet will bring their most deadly weapon into combat. So the defender will move with the shard cannon, and the cannon will be in range to fire 4 shots against the Blessed Sister with the machine gun. And the cannon will need a roll of 4 to hit. A roll of 6 will be rending. So we have 2 regular hits and 1 rending hit. So already now, the High Elf fleet could potentially take out one of the Blessed Sisters' most dangerous weapons. But she will block the rending hit, but fail the 2 regular hits. So 2 wounds to the Blessed Sister. It could be all over for the machine gunner here in the beginning of the second round. She will have to roll on the wound chart. But with a roll of 1, she will be stunned. Heavily wounded, but stunned. And now the High Sister will charge the defender. 2 attacks with her energy sword. She will hit with a roll of 4. And she hits with both her energy sword attacks. It's AP 1, but no rending hits this time. The defender will need a 6 to block and fail them both. So down he goes with 2 wounds and a roll on the wound chart. And again a roll of 1. The defender is stunned. On the opposite side of the battlefield, this defender moves slightly And he can shoot at the Blessed Sister. He will need a 5 because she is in cover, but he will roll a 6. It's a rending hit with the shotgun. So she will need a 6 to block. And she fails. So the Blessed Sister will take 1 wound and face a roll on the wound chart. 1 wound, and let's see the roll here. It's a 2, so she is also stunned. Nobody has left the game yet, but we have several models down. And it's all about point blank shooting at the moment. The Blessed Sister here advances behind the wall and she will fire at point blank range. She will need a 3 because she is in range to use her Devout ability. She will hit. It's a regular hit, but the rifle is AP 1, so the defender will need a 6 to block. And he will almost block with a roll of 5, but not enough. Down and 1 wound to the Elven Defender. He was the one protecting the High Elf Noble. Let's see if he can survive this. And it's a roll of 6, so he will be the first casualty of the game. Elven Defender is shot down by the Blessed Sister. And the other Elven Defender from the Hammer battle group will rush 8 inches up the battlefield. And from here he will be able to strike at the Blessed Sisters next round. And the Blessed Sister from the opposite Hammer group will advance and take a shot at the stunned defender. If she hits, he is out, and that's exactly what she does. She is within her Devout ability range. So with a roll of 3, she will hit and remove the defender here, the second casualty of the game. The elves are falling behind here, so the Elven Noble will charge. She will be able to reach and charge the Blessed Sister. She has 1 attack, and she's the only model with a quality of 3. And she will strike with a deadly attack. And with AP 2, the Blessed Sister will need a 6 to block the Killing Sword. And she will not block anything. She will be hit with 3 wounds because of the deadly ability and fall to the ground, heavily wounded. So 3 wounds here, and that will be a very tricky roll on the wound chart. And with a clear roll of 6 into the slime pool here, she is struck down with a heavy attack from the Elven Noble. The machine gunner will get back up. She went down in the beginning of this round. Now she's back. And this defender will move to the center of the battlefield. The Blessed Sister with the flamethrower is really deadly in close range, but she will need to get up close to fire her flamethrower. And finally, the Blessed Sister that went down behind the wall will get back up, and that will be the final activation of round 2. So 1 Blessed Sister and 2 Elven Defenders went out in this round. And both leaders went into combat with devastating results. Let's proceed to the 3rd round. And once again, the elves will activate first because they finished first. And of course, they will shoot the shard cannon again at the Blessed Sister with the machine gun. She will now be taken out for good. Or what? No, only 1 hit with the shard cannon, and it's AP nothing. The Blessed Sister will have a chance with a roll of 4 to block. And she shakes off the shard cannon shot. She was wounded in the last round, but she is still standing, and the defender cannot fire his shotgun. He's not in range. Now It's time for the Blessed Sister to turn around and settle the score. She has 3 shots with the machine gun, and she will hit on a 3 because of the devout ability. And she will hit twice. The machine gun is AP 1, so the defender with the rather weak defense value of 5 will need a 6 once again to block. And he will not block anything. If he goes down and leaves the battle, the shard cannon will disappear with him. 2 wounds. Now let's see the roll on the wound chart. And it's a 4, so it's too much. The defender will leave the battle and the cannon as well. It's very important for the Blessed Sisters. They have removed the most dangerous weapon, but they have also brought the elves down to half strength. The defender here will now target the Blessed Sister behind the wall, and he will hit. We'll just re-roll this one. He will hit with 1 shot. So once again, the Blessed Sister must defend with a roll of 4. She will fail, and that means she will take her 2nd wound now. Go down again with 2 wounds. Let's see if she can still survive. She can. She rolls 1. She is stunned once again, but still in the battle, and she will immediately get back up. She will not be able to do anything else, but she is standing. And now a tactical move from this defender. He will rush the full range of 8 inches, position himself close to the machine gunner, but she has already activated, and the elves will most likely activate first in the final round. We will see. The High Sister tries to intercept the defender here, but she is also armed with a short-ranged firearm. Now the Elven Noble moves in to try to finish the Blessed Sister, but the attack will fail. With a roll of 1, the killing sword fails, and the Blessed Sister can fight back, but she is already wounded and exhausted, so nothing will come out of this close combat. But yeah, unexpectedly, the Blessed Sister is still alive. And the Blessed Sister with the flamethrower also moves closer, and the same with this Blessed Sister here with the heavy rifle. So no further activations, but the High Elf fleet will face morale tests, and the defenders have a quality of 4. First, this defender. And he fails. A roll of 3. He has had enough. He leaves only 2 elves behind. Let's see this defender. He will roll a 6, and he's good. And now the noble. A roll of 3 is needed here, and, well, a roll of 4, that's good enough. 1 defender, and the Elven Noble will stay, but they are heavily outnumbered before we enter the 4th and maybe final round. The elves' chance to win this match will be to go directly after the High Sister. So the Elven Noble moves as close as possible, and she will be able to fire a short pistol from this position. A roll of, let's see, no, it's a roll of 1. She will fail. She needed a 3, not good. And then she will not be able to do anything else. Now let's see what the sisters can do. First, this Blessed Sister will take a shot at the Elven Defender. She will need a 3 again because of the devout, but she rolls a 6, more than plenty. The defender must roll a 6. He fails, so 1 wound. And let's see how sturdy this Elven Defender is. And we'll re-roll. And a roll of 3. He will survive, but be stunned. And of course, he's the only elf left to activate, so he'll get back up. And now all the other sisters can do their movement. The machine gunner, of course, will target the Elven Noble, and with 3 machine gun shots hitting on a 3, she will actually be able to take her out. She will hit with 2 out. She will hit with all 3 shots, and with AP 1, Elven Noble must roll 5s. This could be all over for the elves now. And she will block 1 out of the 3 shots. That's not good, but that's good enough for her to survive. She'll take 2 wounds. But the turn here is not over yet. The High Sister will move slightly back, and she will be able to take a shot. 1 shot at the Elven Noble. She will hit with a 4, and she also hits. Again, it's AP 1. And a roll of 5 will block. The Elven Noble is still standing. And the rest of the Blessed Sisters will not be able to get into firing range here, so they will just rush up the battlefield, make their movement, and that will conclude the 4th round. But once again, the elves will face morale tests. They have not succeeded in bringing down any of the Blessed Sisters, but the one they already took down. And the defender here is with a roll of 3 out of the match. That leaves only the Elven Noble behind. And what will she do? She will leave with a roll of 1. It's all over. The elves have lost the Onepagerules Warcry final to the Blessed Sisters. All the way through this tournament, the Blessed Sisters have proven to be very, very hard to keep down. They have used their weaponry and their devout ability to the best possible effect, and they stand victorious in this version of the Onepagerules Warcry tournament. If you haven't done so already, go back and watch some of the previous and very exciting matches. And please subscribe to the channel if you like the content, leave a comment if you like. And thanks very much for watching this battle report. I hope you'll join me for future Bat Reps.